Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make these delicious soft and fluffy garlic, spinach, and cheese rolls. This is like a savory version of cinnamon rolls. The bread is so soft and so easy to make, and it has a delicious garlic, spinach, and cheese filling. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, the first thing that we're going to do is make the dough. For that, in a tall glass, you want to combine some lukewarm milk, make sure it is not hot, some granulated sugar, and some instant yeast. We're going to give this a mix and set it aside for 5 minutes. Now this recipe has 3 components: the dough, the garlic butter, and the spinach and cheese filling. After 5 minutes, your yeast mixture should look something like this. It's nice and fluffy, and into that I'm going to add in 2 room temperature eggs and give that a whisk. Now set this aside, and in the bowl of your stand mixer or a large bowl if you're making the dough by hand, we're going to combine together all-purpose flour and some salt. Next, add in the yeast and egg mixture from earlier, and then we're going to knead this using the dough hook attachment on medium speed until the dough has come together. You can make this dough by hand as I mentioned earlier, but this dough is a bit sticky, so if you have a stand mixer, you want to use that. Once the dough has come together, it's going to look a bit dry, but now we're going to add in some softened, unsalted butter. We're going to add this in 2 batches and knead in between. It's very important that your butter is soft and at room temperature, otherwise it's not going to mix into the dough. The written recipe with metric measurements is on my blog, and you can find a link to that in the description box below. Once you've added in all of the butter, you want to let this knead for an additional 1 to 2 minutes until the dough is nice and smooth. Once the dough is nice and smooth, you're going to turn off the stand mixer and then remove all of that dough from the hook. We're going to make this into a rough ball and then set this aside into a greased bowl to rest for around 1.5 hours to 2 hours. In the meantime, let's prepare the fillings. For the spinach and cheese filling, I'm going to roughly chop up 150 grams of fresh spinach. If you love baking bread and stuff like this at home, then you should definitely try out my cinnamon rolls recipe as well as my cinnamon monkey bread recipe. It makes the most fluffy and delicious bread you will ever have. Transfer the chopped spinach into a medium-sized saucepan, add about 1 tablespoon of olive oil, or you can use regular vegetable oil, and cook this on medium-high flame until the spinach is fully cooked through. This takes about 5 minutes. Now we're going to transfer the spinach into a separate medium-sized bowl and let that cool down completely. Once that's cooled, I'm going to add in the cheeses. I'm using cottage cheese and grated mozzarella cheese. You could use your favorite types of cheese. Some other options would be ricotta cheese, goat cheese, or even feta cheese. Give this a good mix, and then we're going to set this aside. Now in a separate small bowl, we're going to be making the garlic butter. Combine together some softened butter. Again, it's very important that your butter is soft. You can check out the blog. I have a really easy hack to soften butter very quickly. And into that, I'm going to add in some chopped parsley, some minced garlic, and salt and pepper. Give this a good mix, and that's it. Your garlic butter is ready to go. It is so simple and easy, but this tastes so good. The dough has fully risen. We're going to give this a light punch and bring it together onto a floured surface. Roll the dough out into a rectangle that's about 15 by 10 inches. Now onto the garlic butter. We're going to save 1/4 portion of this butter for adding on top of the rolls later. Add on the remaining 3/4 portions of the garlic butter and spread this out. If your butter is soft, this is going to be very, very easy. Next, we're going to add in all of the spinach and cheese filling. Make sure to add this as evenly as possible. Starting from the 10-inch side, we're going to roll upwards, being very gentle but making it tight at the same time. My table started shaking a bit over here. I am so sorry for that. But anyways, once you've rolled it out into a log, you're going to place that with the seam side down and then use a clean floss or a thread to cut about 1.5-inch rolls like this. Repeat this process until you've cut up the entire log. Arrange the rolls in a greased 10 by 10 inch square pan, making sure to leave some space in between because these are going to rise one more time. You can fit about 9 rolls in a 10-inch pan. There's like about 3 extra and I just added that into a separate pan. We're going to cover this and let it rest for another hour at room temperature. 1 hour later, you want to preheat your oven to 180 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and then we're going to bake this for about 25 to 30 minutes or until the top is fully golden brown. Once baked, you want to remove that from the oven, and then immediately we're going to spread on the remaining 1/4 portion of the garlic butter that we saved earlier. It doesn't have to be melted because when it touches the hot buns, it's going to automatically melt. This gives the rolls a beautiful shine as well as adding more delicious garlic flavor because there is no such thing as too much garlic. Once you spread it on all of the butter, you want to let this cool down just a bit. Don't let it cool down completely because this is best when it is served warm. And there you have it. These delicious garlic, spinach, and cheese rolls are ready to go. The bread is so soft and fluffy, and the spinach and cheese filling is just perfect. There's not too much of it. It's like the perfect amount. These rolls are perfect for parties, picnic, potlucks, get-togethers, or as a side with soups or even just as a snack by itself. If you haven't already, remember to subscribe to the Food Flamingo for more easy and delicious recipes just like this one. Like the video if you liked it and comment down below if you tried the recipe or if there's anything else you'd like me to make. And as always, thank you so much for watching and I will see you next time.